Pool 3 sucks. What is happening? Oh my God. For those new to the channel, welcome. I normally don't intro that way. Welcome back for those other ones. So if you're unaware, I recently started playing Marvel Snap and I did a 10,000 credit opening video in the links above, all that sort of thing. And I knew this was going to happen. Everybody said this was going to happen. But as soon as I got past 486-ish, I was talking to Mobile Gamer a little bit today. He's thinking level 600, but somewhere in that range, you start getting thrown to the wolves, where it's you get against Pool 3 players who have got and been in Pool 3 for a while. They got more cards. I was worried about this. I was hoping that through my opening that I did, that I'd get some cards that would help me sort of move through that a little bit easier, survive, not get as frustrated, etc. So right now, I was at 70. You can see I got up to about 75 there. I've been flirting in this range here for a little bit. And I'll have to tell you, this morning, last night, it started getting really, really frustrating. I could just not win. Just couldn't win. It didn't matter. I thought I'd have a perfect setup. I'm like, what are they going to use? Every single time they'd have something that could beat me. And it's a card I didn't have. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess that sucks. So, one of it is I need to do better with my cube management, certainly. I think I got used to winning a little bit. Now, I will also say, for me personally, the Zabu nerf hurts because that card very much helped me move along. Now, obviously, being in the tier or the pool play matchmaking that I was in made it even easier. So now I'm in this situation, which I knew, you knew, everybody knew would eventually happen anyway. So, like I said, it was exactly what I worried about. And I did get Arrow and Mags, which is awesome. Those are great Pool 3 cards. And I've won some games with it, but I'm missing a lot of other cards that I think, or at least that I'm playing against, that I'm like, well, I don't have that. So I'm now going to be on a mission to look at some other decks. Some people have already started sharing with me some decks from some other people. I think Cozy Gamer's got something. I tried that out a little bit this morning. It was an early Pool 3 play. I didn't love it at first, but I'm going to try it again and see. Maybe I'm just not used to the deck yet. And I'm also going to go digging around. I'm going to go to some the websites, snap.fan, snap.pro. See, I'm going to do some tracker stuff there, see if I can figure that out. But I'm also seeing Pool 4 cards. So I want to show, I'm going to ask you guys, like, is this normal to see cards like this at this point? So I've got, again, snap.fan. I've got it filtered for Pool 4. I am seeing Bast a boatload. Now, again, could you get a Pool 4? Yes, because there's chances to get it. These people might just got lucky, etc. Maybe they token shopped it or whatever. I'm seeing a number of Shuris, which is a little bit. I've seen a Valkyrie. I have seen a little bit of Hellcar. Most of these other ones, besides Black Panther and I think Super Scroll, aren't all that exciting anyway. So I don't think people are necessarily going to be getting those, but I am seeing them. And so I'm kind of like, all right, now this to me isn't that big of a deal. But the Pool 3 stuff, like I said before, this is where I knew I was going to struggle. So now I'll go through this a little bit, and I want to hear from you guys in the comments below the cards you think I should focus on in this. I'm going to tell you what I think, and I'll do a different video, I think, where I'm going to start doing what I think are some deck builds on this. I want to do it a little bit without getting too much information, because I want to think and see what I think at its base would work. And then from there, hear from you and others. So I think I got Yellow Jacket. I've seen some Human Torch. I played against the Human Torch that almost won it by itself, which was crazy. Tons of Quinjets. The Hood Viper stuff, I'm seeing that. Not so much of these other two. I've seen a bunch of Beasts. I'm seeing more Black Widows. I don't have any of those. I'll tell you guys. Do I have any? Yeah, so I have Yellow Jacket. I don't have any of these other ones. I got Dagger. Colleen Wing is, in my opinion, critical to have. This is one of the cards. So, like, MODOK seems to be a fun, super awesome deck. The discard situation just can wreak havoc when combined with Morbius, especially. I do have Daredevil. I think I got a Falcon. Goose is kind of fun. Not seeing a ton of that. I got Hazmat. Visible Woman's or whatever. She's fine, but Luke Cage don't have. Mojo, I'm not seeing tons of those. I do have Mysterio. I'm not seeing much of Psylocke or Quake, nor do I really care. Quake, actually, I will say that I randomly got Quake, and I do think that card can kind of be fun. If I get that card, I'm going to put it in my troll deck. Just because sometimes I think it's fun to play a troll deck and just sort of go out there and just be like, look, I need a break from everything regular here and just sort of troll some. Viper I talked about. Black Cat I actually think is another great card to have in that discard deck, just because whether you play it or you get it discarded, it helps somewhere else. Brood I don't have. I am seeing Broods. I am seeing Cerebros out there. Debris I think I might have got, but that's more of a troll thing too. Seen a bunch of Electros. Gambit is another great card to have in that discard deck. Seen a bunch of Gambits, and man, Gambit just wreaks havoc. Even though it's a random card, I swear it picks the right one every single time. Green Goblin's just a small hobby. Juggernaut. Kingpin. So I actually really kind of want to get Kingpin, and I want this to play with Arrow. I know that it's obvious that when you do this, but I think if you drop a Kingpin turn 5, maybe with another 2 or something like that, and then Arrow into it, I think that could be a lot of fun. That's something that I definitely want to play with. It might be something people have already done, but I think it's a good idea. We were talking about on my Discord a little bit. I think it's a good idea. Lockjaw. So Lockjaw, I swear this card is single-handedly beating me every single time I run into MODOK decks. Now, obviously, it's not just this card, but this card, when properly paired with all those discards, they just cycle through them, and the Morbiuses get gigantic. And I'm just like, okay. Maximus is a whatever. Moon Knight is also in that discard deck. All right, Mystique. Mystique is probably the first card I'll want to buy in the token shop. I might be crazy for that, but I swear I run into so many Mystiques. It is brutal. Patriot, I know this used to be a part of the meta. I have run into some groups with Patriot where it's a Patriot and Ultron, and I can't do anything. I'm done. Polaris is just kind of an interesting card. I do have Rogue, or it's fine. You know, I don't get it. I don't have Venom. I don't have Wave. I'm running into a lot of waves. I don't have Absorbing Man. That's a decent card. Crossbones, I feel like is sort of a whatever card. Crystal, I did get Crystal. Now, I actually think this card should be changed, personally. I think that they should change this card to do it to your opponent, because my guess is this card never gets played, ever. I mean, I suppose you could have it in your deck, and it's just like, all right, you know, I just got a bad draw here. I'm going to play it. But it's just for 4 points, that's sort of like, who cares? But if you can mess with your opponent with it, oh man, I feel like that is Troll City. Now, Dracula, I see this card nonstop. And I don't have it. A huge part of this MODOK discard sets, they just leave their APOC in their card. They destroy everything else. And it's awesome. They get it. I'm like, okay. Drax is what I mean, it's just part of the Guardians. Now, I did get Ghost Rider, and I've been trying to find a way to use Ghost Rider a little bit. I like trying to sift my Octonaut, or Infinite for those other ones. I call him, he's the Octonaut to me. And then bring him in, but it's just, it doesn't, I don't know. I wasn't having as much luck as I wanted. I think I need to figure out some other stuff around it. Maybe combine that with my Arrow and Mags and see, and maybe I have a couple different options. Hellcow, another discard set that, or a discard card that I think is fantastic. Again, with Lockjaw, you bring it, you discard it, swaps it back. You know, and it's like, okay. Miles is whatever. I do have Mr. Negative. I know this is a big card that a lot of people like. I don't think I have the cards for it. The part that I struggle with fundamentally about this card is that if you're playing a turn 4, you really are only going to get 2 cards that you could even flop. And if they're not the right cards, it's sort of like, okay. So for that one, I would love to hear more about how people are using this card. I've heard that if you play it on turn 3, if you get one of those reduced costs, etc., obviously it's fantastic, which I could see because then you get 3 cards. I have Omega Red. It's whatever. I have Rescue. It's nice. I like Parent Rescue. We were talking about this on the Discord as well, which is in the link in the description below if you want to come join. Rescue paired up with like a Professor X could win you a lane. Okay, yeah, so I've got that. Played around with that. Rock Slide. I don't really care for, nor I have it. Spider-Man's a solid card. I don't have it. Typhoid Mary, when properly used, I think it's decent. Wong, super popular card. Don't have that. I've seen a lot of those. Arrow, I did get lucky enough to get this card. So I do have an advantage there from, I think, from the early games of Pool 3. So happy to see that. I do love this card. I think this is a fantastic, epic card. Arguably one of the strongest cards in the game. It's definitely towards the top of my mind. But again, I'm still learning and playing and getting experience. Black Bolt don't have it. Don't know if I really care. Captain Marvel, I've heard some things where this doesn't even work all the time. Doc Ock, I don't have it. It's kind of fun, trolly, but no big deal. Jane Foster, I'm sure there's a use of this card that I haven't seen yet, but I find that it's sort of weird. I think it'd be more fun if it was like zeros and ones, but maybe there are a lot of zeros, but I don't know. That card is just weird to me. I guess I think maybe with Mjolnir, it would work. Magic, I don't have that. Don't really care. I just got Nick Fury, so I am interested in potentially throwing this in with MODOK to play with a little bit. I think that could be fun. If I had Dracula as well, I'd like to play with that some, because I think that the Dracula could play with that and discard one of them. It'd be awesome. I don't have Red Skull, but that is a fun card. Ronan, I don't think I have, but I haven't seen a lot of use of this one. Sarah, great card. Obviously, it's turn 5, so unless you're going to play a number of cards on your last turn, I understand this card is very, very good. I will have to see the decks it's good with. So I'm sure it's something that you play and then you just play a bunch of other cards. Don't have Taskmaster, again, paired with, Mystiques and other higher cards. Like, I just think that this card can be phenomenal. Agatha's or whatever. I think a lot of people don't really like that. Arnim Zola I don't have. I think Arnim Zola is considered a very strong card as well. I do have Destroyer in the shop, not buying it. I'm running in to a ton of Dooms, similar to the Ultrons, just beat me up. Giganto, sort of a whatever. Hela, it's funny, like, when I first started playing MODOK, I didn't run into many of these, and then I did, and they all be able to play perfectly. Where I'm just like, okay, all right, this thing. Like, they play their MODOK, and somehow this doesn't, this comes turn 6 or whatever, and it's just not getting discarded, or it gets pulled back in. I just was like, okay. Leader got nerfed. No one really cares about Leader anymore. Mags I have. Pretty excited about that. Would love to get She-Hulk. Seen tons of these. Ultron, I'm running across here and there, mainly those Patriot decks, but decent card. And then Death, I'm seeing a bunch as well, especially for those discard decks. So that's a lot of cards. I know I just rattled off a lot of the pool 3 cards, but I wanted to go through those a little bit and try to, just give my thoughts on them a little bit, share the ones I have. I want to hear from you guys. Which ones do you think I necessarily need to focus on? And which ones do you think are the best? I'd love to hear in your comments below. And like I said, I want to build some decks. So one of the things that I want to mention before getting out of here is there's a deck builder, obviously in snap.fan. Now, the part that I want to actually work with this and tie to this is I wanted to know what cards I have when I do this. So, this actually has, I believe, a tracker in here somewhere. You can upload your game data on this. From what I mean, certainly they give a warning, which is smart. There's files you can choose, and it tells you how to get those files. Problem for me is, one, I don't have an Android, and I do have a BlueStacks affiliate link if you want to help support the channel in the discussion below, or any of these conversations are helpful to you. And I could get it from BlueStacks, I suppose, but I mainly play on Steam as well because of some of the tracker stuff. So I jump back and forth between BlueStacks and Steam. So I'm a little wondering, like, well, what if I just do this in BlueStacks, will it work? So the other site that I've looked at is snap.pro, and they also have a tracker, and they get it from GitHub. I'm going to look at this. This did get flagged once before when I tried to download it and by my antivirus software. So if you've had any experience with these, let me know, because I do want to use these. This one I like a lot because it tracks, your win rate, your cube gains, all those sort of things. And that's the type of analysis I really like to do. I really want to see it. I can that way hopefully improve my gameplay a little bit, build decks, do the different things that I can think like theoretically about making these decks and seeing what I need. So I'm kind of looking for that. That's what I got. So if you want to feel bad for me, hammer down on the like button, support the channel as much as you can, subscribe, anything. You know what? Share with your aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, grandmas, grandpas, neighbors, anybody. Appreciate it. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.